At the same time, electoral-wise, we always got to keep an eye on this. Let's put this up there on the screen. Trump remains the most blessed man in the U.S. legal system. I mean, the Georgia case, Ryan, was one where he had a lot of problems. You know, there was not the same constitutional questions around state election law. They genuinely can indict and prosecute whomever they want. It's because it's totally under their purview in terms of how they view election interference, etc. And the lead prosecutor there, Fanni Willis, seemed to have a pretty good case. She had one, look, regardless of whether you think it was legit or not, she had people flipping, including Sidney Powell and all of these other individuals who worked for Trump, and, you know, including his lawyer and all of them were cooperating. Well, it then comes out, you know, soon afterwards, just in the last month or so, that the person that she had chosen as the case's lead prosecutor may have been involved in a tumultuous affair with Fanni Willis, all stemming from his divorce case. So let's just keep this up there so I can read from it. It says that the future of this election interference can now hinge on a bitter divorce case playing out in the suburbs of Atlanta, involving the case's lead prosecutor, his estranged wife, and the testimony she is now seeking from Fanni Willis, who the estranged wife says is his alleged paramour. Now, it appears that this is going to actually be unsealed. Emergency court hearing just yesterday evening, the judge says that a decision on the question of whether Willis can be called for testimony in this divorce case, Nathan Wade, will be stayed. Now, what this means is that right now, the co-defendant, one of Trump's actual co-defendants, he's the one who unearthed this because he discovered that the two were, quote, having an improper clandestine personal relationship that has now financially benefited both. I actually think the financial part of this, Ryan, could be some of the most damaging because this gentleman, Nathan Wade, who Fanni Willis tapped, had very little experience and has now made hundreds of thousands of dollars paid by the state in legal expenses. So, I mean, this is, you know, classic problems for dismissal that could be challenged, especially if something like this comes out. Willis herself, I mean, is one where, look, you should always take this with a grain of salt, but here's what the estranged wife says. She says, Willis is trying to hide under the shield of her position to avoid testimony. We are not seeking her deposition as the district attorney of Fulton County. We are seeking the deposition in individual capacity as the alleged paramour of my client's husband. So whatever her job is, it has nothing to do with whether or not she should have to sit for a deposition. Now, Fanni Willis's attorney says that the knowledge that she may or may not have about Wade and his marriage, quote, is not unique. You have got two parties in this case, one that is alleged to have an extramarital affair. If that's the case, if that is true, Nathan Wade has that information. So pretty noteworthy that her own attorney is not denying that this is true, which, I mean, to me, it seems pretty true. Look, allegedly for Mrs. Willis's lawyers, I'm just saying, you know, for my own reading of the facts that are publicly available, which you have not disputed, it's not looking good for you. I mean, I can't believe this, Ryan. I said this last time with Crystal. It's like, what? Trump has truly been touched by God. Like, there's no other explanation. And I don't even believe in God.
Yeah.
I mean,
like the Georgia case was always, to me, the biggest threat to Trump. This is the go find me the votes case.
It's unbelievable.
This is the one where he straight up got on a call with the state's Secretary of State and instructed his team, find me 11,000 X number of votes so that we flip this thing and I become president.
Right.
Like, just seems like blatant criminality on tape. And like you said, she's a hard-charging prosecutor. Right. She's got people flipping. She's got people ready to testify, grand jury ready to go, and then boom. Because Trump doesn't have to necessarily win here. What Trump needs to do is
to raise questions.
Delay this long enough that it's too close to the election and you can't prosecute it anymore. There's nothing better than a divorce case when it comes to opposition researchers and the journalists who are looking to dig into public figures, because that is when it all comes out. Now, you also have to take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I'm couching it. Be like, this is the guy's ex or estranged wife.
There's nobody more motivated than somebody filing, a divorce case against, because all divorces are hard. But divorces that wind up in court, where filings are public, that's like the top 10% of divorces, because they've gone past the place where you're going to amicably settle anything, gone past the place where you're even just going to go to court. You're now like airing everybody's dirty laundry. And in some cases, you're just making up dirty laundry and airing it. Like, that absolutely happens. But like you said, doesn't look good in terms of the response.
Right.
Now, what does this have to do with the case? Not really anything, in the sense that, like, that doesn't change the kind of facts of the case of what Trump did or what the prosecutor has. Fanni Willis, at her defense, she said, look, there are three, made primary attorneys that I've hired on this case, all friends of mine, a black man, a white man, and a white woman. It's unfair that they're only coming after the black man and accusing me of this, improper relationship. On the other hand, a lot of people are saying, as Trump would say, many people are saying.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, though, Brian.
It's like, it's part. Go ahead.
No, I mean, more in looking at this, they allegate, like, she's not denying some of the substances of this stuff. For example, the man's been paid $650,000 charging the state of Georgia. Now, also
the travel stuff is problematic.
This is what I was about to get to. They say that there were many questions about trips that Mr. Wade paid for and took with Ms. Willis, as county officials are prohibited from receiving anything of value from people doing business with the county. So literally, if he paid for a hotel room or something that she happened to be in, again, allegedly, then if she did not immediately reimburse him for that half, or she took trips or accepted airplane tickets and all these things, this is cut and dry corruption stuff. And these laws are in place exactly for a reason. Now, maybe she can make restitution, she can pay it back or something like that. But again, we're talking in the court, not only of public opinion, we're talking about in courts of law. This is the exact type of stuff that can get a case thrown out. Or they can delay it, like you said. If you get the lead prosecutor removed from a case, then so much is going to happen now legally in terms of pushing that back. If you push it back after the 2024 deadline, boom, now Trump literally could be the president again. Now he's got immunity. There's all kinds of different things going on.
Right. So the lead prosecutor plus one of the top three kind of secondary prosecutors. But if you take the potential romantic relationship out of it, these are standard kickback laws. Like, in other words, a prosecutor cannot pay somebody, or any state official, you can't pay somebody and then they give you 10% back. Right. That's a kickback.
Yes.
Those are banned. And so if there is evidence of him kicking things back to her, that falls under the kickback laws, even if it wasn't a kickback because she wasn't paying him so that she would get paid. They were just going on trips together, allegedly.
Irregardless, like, you pick somebody
it's still illegal.
Allegedly, you got a personal relationship with, and you're putting them in a nice cushy job. We don't have a lot of experience. $650,000 is a lot of money. Okay, that's a lot of money. That's one of those. Yeah, maybe you had to pay an associate. Okay, still pocketing a decent amount of that, and that's only just so far. If the case goes to trial, I mean, who knows? He could be making $1 million plus of taxpayer dollars. So keep in mind that that's just one of Trump's legal issues. Don't forget, he's also got another one coming. Let's put this up there. This is actually going to happen on Wednesday, which is kind of interesting. The defamation trial, round 2, by the way, is happening now with E. Jean Carroll, delaying Trump's possible testimony. The judge who is overseeing Trump's defamation trial has actually delayed those proceedings after the Tuesday primary contest, where this was complicated because it meant that Trump was supposed to actually offer testimony in his own defense. In the testimony, or in court, his lawyer said, my client reminded me tomorrow's the New Hampshire primary. He needs to actually be in New Hampshire. Seems to be, a decent enough excuse. A lawyer actually for E. Jean Carroll then objected to the delay, saying that they want to get this over with. Can you give people a little bit of come up with some background on the case, like with E. Jean? Because this is the second defamation trial. And I guess we should remember, they found that he defamed her, but they did not find that any substance to the claim that he raped her. Okay, so but this is where it gets confusing.
They found that there's enough evidence that her claims are solid. Okay, and that his attacking her over making those claims is defamation. Got it. And laid a giant judgment on him for it. He immediately defamed her after that judgment. Right. And
according to the court, according to her lawsuit, yes, exactly,
right. Well, and also, like, to take a victory lap, he put out a statement like right afterwards, and immediately, I think it was on the show, I was like, that's the same defamation that he just got nailed for. Like, there's no difference between what he just said and what the court just said is defamation. And so this time, when he went back to court, they skipped the whole trial. The whole fact-finding part of, was there sexual assault? They said, we've already decided that there was. And so now the question is, these comments, do they count as defamation? So they skip that. And if he could pay, he's going to get hit with another judgment. After that, he might keep defaming her. Just keep going back. Because
well, how much are these judgments? So like
millions.
I mean,
millions. Now, is he ever going to pay is the question.
Right.
But yeah, it was an enormous amount of money.
Okay.
Many millions.
Maybe you'll get his supporters to pay for it, like you did with the Stop the Steal thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can pay that. You can pay that out of your legal defense fund, right?
I'm sure you can. Yeah, I'm sure he could. They can find a way. So it's one of those where it probably
or just
only
never
makes him
pay.
stronger. He put out a Truth Social. Let's put this up there. Here's what he had to say. He says, I traveled last night from the state of New Hampshire to New York to attend one of the crooked Joe Biden's inspired witch hunt trials, despite the fact that I was there on time and on schedule. It was then learned that one of the jurors is not feeling well, and for that reason, today's session, having to do with a woman I know nothing about, has therefore canceled with a new date to be determined. All of these various Biden political opponent trials just happen to be starting with great purpose in the middle of what will be the most important election in the history of our country. They could have all began years ago or years after that, but certainly not during the election. In actuality, they should have been brought at all because I have done nothing wrong. It is what it is. I will do what I have to do. All I ask is for fair judges and juries, and I will win every single one of them. So now that's what the man says. Go ahead.
To back up his one of his wild claims here, he says these are Biden-inspired witch hunt trials.
Yeah.
It is true that Reid Hoffman,
right, the billionaire,
funded the billionaire kind of supporter of Biden and opponent of Trump. More an opponent of Trump than he is a supporter of Biden, financed her lawsuit.
Right.
Like that's a fact. Like that is a fact. The judge and jury still found him liable for it, though.
Yeah, very important point. So anyway, that's what we got. Trump's latest legal wranglings. Don't forget, I left out the business case. What else? We have the January 6th case. We have the documents case. We have this case, E. Jean Carroll. I believe I'm missing another one.
There's the porn star case, too. That one's still...
I forgot about that one. Yeah. And so, yeah, anyway, I think, what is it, some 91 criminal charges and all that, and he's got to run the table on all of them. It's going to be a tough bet, but we'll keep you guys updated. As I said, though, there's no luckier man in this world than Donald Trump whenever it comes to legal matters. In many ways, I honestly feel like he's like some sort of like magical material which absorbs his opponent's strength, and it just like makes him.
He's certainly
stronger.
the only president in modern memory that looked younger when he left office.
It's very true. He's like the sword of Gryffindor for any Harry Potter nerds who are out there.
Hey guys, if you like that video, go to breakingpoints.com, become a premium subscriber, and help us build the best independent media organization on the planet.
That's right. We're subscriber funded. We're building something new. We want to replace these failing mainstream media organizations.
So again, to subscribe, it's breakingpoints.com.